Welcome back to Tools and Track. In this episode, me and Dave stand around while Gianni cleans an engine with a toothbrush.
Do you want me to get my gloves in?
Absolutely. Why have I noticed that I still seem to be doing your engine?
Was that not what the deal was?
Pretty sure the deal was I'd help. As we've seen in the previous episode, seems to be an interesting bias.
That was moments from death.
Oh, Dave, put your bum away. That's not the first time I've said that.
No.
I don't think your trousers are going to make it to the garage.
No.
This is actually one of these moments where I want to introduce my Patreon site, because what will happen is if you don't Patreon, I will turn around 180 degrees and go to OnlyFans instead, and then you have to deal with that crack. So. Right, no judgment from any of the viewers. Well, all we need to do is get this in the air, it doesn't need to live there. It's going to live, it's just a case of how well, whether anything remains on it, it does.
Just going to get control of itself. Oh, it's fine. I think that was just the.
The creeper, it served you well.
Would you be happy with it on the tyre?
As long as it's upright, and then I can still. Do you think that thing will take the weight though?
The tyre will absolutely take the weight. She's right. That's going nowhere.
So Gianni showed me a video earlier on.
Alright.
Not a naughty one, car related. Is it worth Gianni going coil on plug?
No. So, and I'll tell you why. Coil and plug looks really, really good because you no longer have a distributor on the back and you've got all these lovely modern looking coils. However, in order to run coil and plug, you will need to run a crank trigger and a separate ECU to tell this engine when to fire these coils. Now, I'm not totally against this idea. In fact, I'm all about doing aftermarket ECUs. However, your budget probably isn't.
No, but I did tell you all this, David.
See,
When
there we
you-
go. And now we know.
I already explained all this to David.
Of course.
Earlier.
Well, there we go.
Can I tell you my plans or my ideas that I'd like to do? I want to do a timing belt,
Okay.
water pump,
Yeah.
and then just literally tart it up.
So we're going to freshen up all the gaskets as well, or are we
Yes.
going to?
Every gasket that I can find,
Okay.
hopefully replace.
Cool. Have we had any further thoughts on the ignition system, which I am still convinced is the root cause of all of your
all
running
evil.
problems? Shall we have a look at that just now and inspect it?
Yes.
What do you think to this EGRE thing that's going on there?
So, it's had an EGR delete, which is good for performance, not so good for meeting emissions, but emissions
It's
are
a bit-
probably- It's a bit podunk.
Crude,
I'm
innit?
going to say if we can get a socket on that and get that off, I'll take that away and weld that up for G. What we're going through here now, G's found like a list of very basic but useful mods for the 3VZ that will improve it. So there's some things that we've already done. For example, replacing the airbox with a filter, that's been done. Replacing the back box, well, that's been done because there's none. Similarly, we've got the Y pipe underneath we're going to address in a later episode, so make sure you've smashed that subscribe button because it's coming soon. EGR has been removed and capped off. We can tidy that up a bit. The next thing down the list here, cam breathers. So we've got a cam breather on each side of the cam covers. What would normally happen with this is it would feed into your intake system. What happens with that is these obviously need to have pressure release because, you know, piston rings up and down, it will create positive crankcase pressure. So that has to breathe somewhere, but it also must be filtered. If it breathes to atmosphere, it'll just draw in air. So back in the old days, Vauxhall boys would just stick one of them mini wee K&Ns on each of those.
I love them.
They were great, but the problem is you still will get oil vapour coming out and they will leak and drip oil all over the place. So your other option to do is a catch can. So you tie both of these in to a Y pipe into a catch can, and then the catch can will go into where it used to live on the inlet. Now the good reason for this is your inlet's not breathing in hot air from the engine, and it's not breathing in oil, which is ultimately going to end up getting burnt and coking the inside of the engine up. So the catch can is a secondary filter. Deleting the vacuum canister and replacing it with a 3-inch loop of pipe. That's that wee that was down there. Remember the last thing that snagged us?
Yes,
that's
yes,
the vacuum canister there.
Right.
Absolute doddles.
Dave,
That's
you weren't here.
You're
Stop saying yes.
I'm just trying to make it sound like I was here.
Was it in the video?
the continuity will actually show that at no point were you in episode 2.
I might have been.
We'll say you were holding the camera. Perfectly still on a tripod. Yeah, that's what that stuff is. All very easy stuff, and something we will probably do before this all goes back in.
And cams.
And aftermarket ECU to run, coil and plug,
Yeah.
and supercharger or turbocharger. Dave, what are you feeling, Lance?
I like superchargers.
Do I do supercharger?
I would say so.
Right, well, we start breaking bolts on things.
Sorry, what was
I
it you
would
were
think
looking for? What
An
size?
8mm socket on a ratchet.
It's like a mouse, but bigger.
I have found the problem.
Oh, there's some things and some stuff going on in there.
Each of these electrode protrusions transfer spark from a rotor cap through there to the respective spark plugs. They work better when they're not covered in corrosion and with half
Mushrooms
loaded
growing on them.
mushrooms.
Yeah. Getting lots of good like bolt and screw cracking sounds in this, isn't it?
It's
like one of those
actually
ASMR video things, isn't it?
these don't actually crack. It's my arthritic knuckles. Probably not the easiest to identify there, but you'll see there's actually a lot of erosion happening here, and that's caused by a constant arc of electricity going between these two. If there is any slight gap there, it will constantly make an arc across it. As it makes an arc, it erodes the metal, which makes the arc worse and worse. So once they start to go, they really go. But yeah, that's goose. That's going to be the reason. So we just took our whole engine out for this, which you can get from the top.
Probably the easiest component the whole thing.
We'll have a look at your belt before we wrap up.
Oh.
Changed in 2009.
Yeah.
No, sorry. Yeah, 2009.
I don't remember
and that's
much
the
of
year it
2009.
went off the road.
Yeah.
So, and
like-
it's actually done less.
Get to the end, Isa!
It says like 120k on the clock, but this is like 150. So
You went back in time. So basically, what we're saying is we don't think it's covered many, if any,
it
miles.
shouldn't have.
However, it is, 10 years old.
That's enough chat, let's find out.
So
Can we try and get one of them out?
what we do a big reveal? Na-na!
There's a belt. See if that's brand new.
I mean, it does look remarkably new.
Well,
There's a debate now.
let's,
right,
do you know what, man? Comment section.
Yes,
but
belt. It's easy enough sitting in your seat at your computer or your phone.
Well,
going, just change
So
it.
we'll play the devil's advocate here. We're at the point where the engine's out. Do you just do a belt because it's out? Off! Where's this mythical now?
Yes! And if this fits again, I'm going to be 29. 29 fits. 29 takes everything off. It's just like the sanding wedge of the tool world.
I mean, it's one of those ones that's not pretty, but it does work.
Could you not just get like a dome-headed bolt?
I could just weld a cap on the top of that for you if you like.
I have a suspicion, and it could just be my paranoia, that at some point or another, that there might have been something nasty put in the cooling system of this, and that's maybe why you were getting some cooling issues. So we want to just flush it out and see if anything horrible falls out of it.
You're going to go find us a big bucket?
Uh-huh. Am I getting the job of crawling under here?
Absolutely, because I've had the
Excellent.
job of crawling under there and removing a fucking engine.
Excellent. Where are we going there?
In the top pose, it's pointing up at 45 degrees.
That one, yeah.
Right, you ready,
Give
Dave?
me all the bars of pressure.
That's as fast as it will go.
I'm just doing this in stages until someone... No, that's positive.
Oh,
Right,
no.
a bit more.
There's more coming out the top than's coming out the bottom, but...
Well, I mean, there will be a bit of resistance from the radiator.
Like, no bits have came out.
Well, that's positive.
Which is maybe good.
Oh, that was really amazing.
Aye. Dave likes to get it right up to the hinge. Oh, that's a perfect fit.
Only
Might be
there
nice
was-
if someone.
Or mats, or something to sort of keep
Only
you...
there was a creeper.
There's a couple of creeps in here, I'm telling you that.
Whoa, knocked it. Stop.
Maybe a bit too much pressure. Excuse me. Oh, wow.
Right, just a bit less pressure than that, Dave. What if I went the other way round? Oh, wow.
Is that in the heater matrix, is that?
Aye, that'll be all of it in the heat matrix. Yeah. That'll be getting bypassed.
That means no heating.
Don't drive it in winter.
Do we think then that the heater matrix thing, right, has been pre-engine in
Possibly.
and it's always been blocked?
Could be.
Because the car hasn't really done any driving since the engine went in,
Conversely, it could have been sat there and just has fermented for 10 years.
potentially. Well, what about, like I say, what about we nip up one of these Jubilee clips so we get pressure at the hose end and just crank it and see if it blows through here, blows anything through?
Yeah. We're just talking about...
There you go, Lincoln Park.
Start cranking it on a bit and then if you hear me screaming, turn it off.
I kind of want the full thing just to see what
Oh,
happens.
there we go. Oh, that's a different colour coolant. That's actually green coolant that's coming out of that now.
Now that's interesting. Oh, it's now brown.
Now it's going brown. Now it's going very brown.
Oh, that's positive. I mean, it flows. That's the main thing.
Well, we know it's not completely blocked, and it's now going kind of. It's actually going quite clear now.
Cleaning up a bit.
Yeah, go and chuck it off at that.
Right, okay, well that's that. I think what we need to do now is... I don't know. Cry.
Yes. Just keep flushing it.
Come on, you need to work your famous
This is
status.
Status Error built, this car. I don't need no sponsors. However,
If anyone from Mishimoto is
is
watching,
anyone looking to...
a little Mishimoto rad would be amazing.
That would be. Not a little one. A
But
nice-
quite a large Mishimoto rad would be lovely.
You just weld on there, and then take this up upside down, chop the FX in, and weld it outside.
And then dress it up a little bit. Yeah, that would work.
Alright, man.
Mm-hmm.
We do the first one, and then we do the Iron Man noise. This is going to end badly.
Display for top.
Display model only.
So what we are about to show here is what not to look for in a welder.
You're going to eat your words. Ooh!
The whole shed just shook.
There we go. We have a clap.
Well, I'm under attack.
So if this touches anything, it'll just go.
Go. Right, you ready?
Yep.
See when.
When... Oh wow. I feel like I'm just shooting stuff.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I can't see anything now.
Do you know what? It's not the worst.
Can I do my best attempt at making an actual
weld.
and I will see how strong it is for having no gas.
I mean, it's there.
How bad can it be?
So we're going to bash it now and see if it falls apart. I would say that's hold, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bending the metal before it's snapping.
Honestly, I'm so surprised that it never shorted the...
Oh, you're saying that? You've not stuck your head out to see if the house is in darkness.
No day.
Uh-huh.
Jove.
Right, so an engine gasket kit, because whatever we're taking apart, we're going to have to put back together again. Similarly, it will need an oil change before it gets turned on again.
Yeah, spark plugs.
Spark plugs.
Leads. In big capital letters, leads.
Does that include the...
Yeah, rotor cap, rotor arm and leads. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the real reason why this thing's been misfiring, as we established earlier on. So you want to explain why we're putting coolant temperature gauge on this when there are 3 sensors in that engine bay that will measure coolant temperature?
But this will be better. Plus, I have a
Right, wait a minute.
It'll have a gauge.
Is it less than £10?
I'm not saying it.
Then it's terrible. Don't buy it.
It couldn't. How could it be wrong? It's literally a bit of metal where
£8.
dress
Cleaner.
up parts for the engine.
Hoses. We're also going to have to look at the exhaust at some point, but
Yes.
that will be once the engine goes in. But it's going on the list.
Yeah.
That's literally
For
my
sure.
list.
Bush.
Bushes.
Bush.
All
And poly. We're going poly, I take it.
Coolant. What, a radiator? It needs a radiator. Are we going putting a new, like, air intake of some degree? Because that what I've got is pretty jolly.
While we're on the subject of things that feed into that,
Catch can.
we had discussed that a catch can would be a wise thing to put in there.
They'll put their sticker on anything.
2G, that would be great.
Leave
Although,
that there.
look at the car.
I
Do
know.
you think it could take
I think it's right.
anything more than what we're giving it in terms of power?
Absolutely.
Well, not that we're giving it.
I'm just going to say yes until you go, okay, I'll buy one.
Caliper rebuild kit. I don't know if you have ever done a rebuild
Never.
of a caliper. Well, this is it's one of those inside jokes that when people are watching, they're like, I don't get it, but we're thinking that's hilarious. Those are my favourite videos to watch.
Yeah, top.
Oh,
Oh no.
oh, oh.
Oh, woo.
I like that. Wow. Just pulled that back at the last
We
minute.
want braided lines though. Again, not overly expensive, but can really change the look and feel of
Mhm.
a heavy ass fiberglass, fake ass Ferrari.
You just said Ferrari.
I don't know. You better.
We did say- he said-
You better do that.
He did say fake ass before.
It still has a couple of badges on it, so. I think where they are.
Where are they? Yeah.
On the window.
This now concludes the list. However, if anyone watching has anything that you think Gianni should add to the Ferrari kit other than V8,
Bear in mind, this has to cost. Well, this alone I need to try and find for under £100. So.
you know what to do in the comment section. Subscribe button here, do the old next episode thing here, hit the reminder bell, apparently.
That's what you do.
Apparently. And we will see you next time for more MR2 based fun. You're not even on camera at this point. Yeah. Nice one. See you soon.